On today's episode of Homeworthy, we're exploring the incredible homes of 4 content creators. First, we visit a stylish home in Pennsylvania, where fun accents like cheetah print chairs and a whimsical gumball machine reflect the creator's vibrant personality. Next, in Los Angeles, we tour an apartment featuring a unique blend of high and low decor, with a stunning view and beautiful artwork by the creator's mother. Then, we head to Texas, where a playful townhome is filled with colorful fashion, thrifted finds, and quirky food-themed decor. Finally, we visit an elegant Upper East Side apartment, where a chic design complements both creators' styles, featuring cozy dining spaces and a gallery wall full of memories. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Well, hey, Homeworthy. I'm Megan. Welcome to my home in Radnor, Pennsylvania. Why don't you come on in and I'll show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Megan Mullen. I am a content creator in the fashion and beauty arena. I've been doing it for about a year and a half, although I've been a fashion lover since I was probably 5 years old. I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia on the main line. Live in a home that is about 20 years old. My style for interiors is, I would say, traditional, but with a touch of whimsy, fun. There's always a twist. I think it kind of mirrors my fashion aesthetic as well in that regard. This is my foyer. This is the first area you see when you come into my home. A couple of things I'd love to share with you. This artwork over here is done by my husband. I had seen this montage in Nantucket, or at least something similar, and I loved it. And he said, oh, I can make that. And a few months later he did. And it's because I loved those little conversation hearts that you get at Valentine's Day. I love the pastels, their hearts, just makes me happy. These are old Biedermeier chairs that were in my husband's family forever and ever. And I just recovered them. And then over here I just have a combination, or a collection rather, of a lot of different chinoiserie pieces. I love the blue and white, and then the pop of pink. I love pink, as you'll see throughout the house. These lampshades make me so happy. They're by a company called Sorella Glen. They're a female-owned. 2 moms decided to kind of just go out on their own, and I don't know, I just love them. They make me super happy. I just recently bought this at a thrift store in Bryn Mawr. I had been looking for something round, and you'd think it would be easy to find, but of course it wasn't until I literally saw this outside the store. It wasn't even in the store. They were getting ready for it, and I just thought it would be the perfect spot to kind of put something bright and colorful in the center. I love candles. I always have them going to kind of camouflage the scent of my animals. I'm super cognizant of that, so I think this kind of just suits the space nicely. And then the light fixture here is by Visual Comfort, I believe, and it's classical. It's just a good piece without being too fussy. I don't like anything too fussy. So when we were buying this home specifically, my husband and I had very different ideas about things, as you know, couples sometimes do. I wanted an old home with the charm and the moldings and a ton of character, and he was like, all he saw were dollar signs of repairs that, you know, could possibly happen. So when we came upon this home, we just fell in love with all of the millwork and some of the details. The outdoor patio was really special. We love that as well. And we could just kind of envision ourselves being here for a while. Guys, this is the room that you probably recognize the most and see, because I typically film a lot of my OOTDs in here. Not only because I love it, but also because it usually is clean. So that just saves me a lot of work. And speaking of OOTDs, I may as well share with you all what I have on today. These old jeans from Mother. I know, I'm sorry. I should have worn something that you can all buy, but I have found them on Poshmark, which I'll get to later. My sweater is the Oxblood Cashmere from Tuckernuck. Love this. And then my jacket is Goop. Really love this. Probably should have sized up, but I took off the tag, so here we are. And let's see, my bracelet stack is from my mother, my grandmother, my husband, and some Jenny Bird bangles in there as well. And then my necklaces are MB Styles, Cezanne, and Bernard. And that's it. That is it. So the most asked question, believe it or not, is not about my jewelry or my outfit. Most of the time, it is about these leopard chairs. And I know I touched on this earlier, but I may as well say it again because it bears repeating. People ask me where I bought them, how can they get them, etc., etc. I did these about 10 years ago. Found them not on the side of the road, but at like a dilapidated store. They were completely mismatched. If you look underneath, you can see how old the legs are, but it didn't matter because they were the same height, and I had a vision for what I wanted to do, which was this leopard concept, which I know seems a bit out there, but I love it. As I said, they were the same height, so that made things really easy. Just added a skirt, and that's it. And they're in great shape, and they're so super comfortable. My favorite thing to do when I am on like a very good path of living is to get up at 5 a.m. I read that book, The 5 a.m. Club, and it really changed my perspective on things. I'm not implementing any of the strategies or tools right now, so do as I say, not as I do. But when I am in that frame of living, I love to come down here in the morning, say some prayers, sit in front of the fire. Sometimes I even just kind of look at my phone a little bit. It's really just to decompress, get my mind right before the day begins. The other question I get so often is about this guy in the painting. People always want to know, who's the guy? Well, this is an old opera singer. And something you may not know about me is that I was actually a voice major in college just for a year. But I did grow up singing opera, and I was classically trained. So this is a piece that my husband had before we even got married. The fireplace I painted black almost within 5 minutes of moving in. I just had this vision of wanting to do this for whatever reason, and I don't know, I just love it. It makes a statement. These were sourced from a consignment store called the Velvet Shoestring, as was this table. Oh gosh, there's a specific name for the style. It's from the 1970s. I think it's called like a Mastercraft table. I just love it. I think it blends in perfectly with this room. This is a French-style couch sofa that has been recovered about 3 times, and I think this is what we're sticking with for the time being. It's not very comfortable, but it suits the room. It's a little bit more formal, obviously. These are Baccarat vases, and I love the drapes in here, the emerald green. I just love emerald green and the leopard together. I just think that's one of my favorite combos in fashion as well. And just added a little tassel trim, brass hardware up there, which ties into the table as well as the mirror. The pink lamp, I love it. It makes me happy. It's just a pop of color, again with the pink, what can I say? And then also these bookshelves. This was also one of my first projects upon moving in, because do you remember that show? It was on Bravo. It was one of the first decorating shows, I swear. I think it was called like $1 Million Decorators. It was with Mary McDonald, who's amazing, and Martin Bullard, I think that's his last name, yikes. And I remember seeing him color coordinate these books on bookshelves and thinking, I would love to do that one day. And so that's what we did. We collected a ton of books, and yes, we've read most of these. Some of the other ones were just random ones from the basement, but we just color coordinated them, stacked them up, and then placed little trinkets that we had been collecting throughout whoever knows when, where, and tried to match it up, and I like it. At some point, I may want to put some sort of textured wallpaper maybe behind here and cover up the holes, but for now, this is what it is. This piece of artwork here was procured, I believe, down at the beach when we used to have a beach house. There was an antique store down there and I loved it because it was a beach theme. The rug is from Stark Carpets. I always have a candy dish. That's something else to note, again, with the whimsy and the fun. I just love the colors, and you always need a little sugar kind of going throughout the day. And I'm not supposed to talk food in my mouth, so I'm going to end right here. Bye. Okay guys, I also really love this room. This is our dining room, another pink room. I know my husband is a saint for allowing me to do this. I don't really know how I've gotten away with it, but I have. And I love this because this is where we gather for special occasions. And Thanksgiving I host here every year with my family. We do birthdays, and it's a great spot to be, especially because you can see the fire. And the pink really casts a beautiful light upon everyone when the lights are down, the candles are lit. It's really pretty. One of the other reasons why this is my favorite room is because I love these windows. Every friend I've had who's a decorator tells me to put drapes on them, and I refuse because I just love the way they look. Recently, I added these plates. These are rose medallion. The dogs were roughhousing, as they do, recently, and knocked this one off the wall, of course, yesterday. Figures, right before you guys are coming. So we glued it back together, and that is that. So that works out. These two ginormous pieces of art are from Janine McGuire. My friend Erin, who I always talk about, who has incredible taste. This is her mother. She is an awesome painter, and the scale of these really suited the room. These lamps are Mary McDonald for visual comfort, I believe. And the sideboard I also bought at the Velvet Shoestring, giving them a lot of shout outs, in Wayne. Again, it's a consignment store, secondhand. Never ever be afraid to go check out these consignment stores because they are a treasure trove of possibilities. And also it's nice to have a unique piece that is something not everybody else has. So I love that. And then this here is just an old china closet. I think my husband had it before we were even together. I always say I'm going to replace it and still have yet to do that, but it does house all of our wedding china and our crystal, and these are all of the things that I use to do the table when we have guests. This is a really fabulous still life. I don't know too much else about that other than I'm always amazed when I stare at it how you could get the spoon so perfect. This is just, usually has a flower or an orchid in it, doesn't today. I love to collect old vintage champagne buckets and then not only use them for champagne, but flowers as well. So I would say I don't do as much entertaining as I would like, especially in this room. Every time we eat in here, my husband and I say, why don't we eat in here more often? Or why don't we have more dinner parties? So it's always on our list, but when we do entertain in here, it just feels like everything. It's warm, it's inviting. You just feel like you're home, and that's always the feeling I want to have. Something you may not know about me is I am not above a fantastic eBay find, and I'm almost positive that is where I sourced this light fixture from, this chandelier. When we first moved in, I knew I wanted something grand, and this serves the bill, that's for sure. At Christmas time, I'll hang little vintage ornaments from here, and it looks so pretty. And again, with the pink walls, when the lights are dimmed and the candles are lit, it just gives like an ethereal glow to everyone's face, which is really fun. I fell into this content creation world, literally I fell into it. My girls were begging and begging for TikTok. I finally acquiesced. However, I had to know what in the heck was going on that Wild Wild West platform. So I decided to kind of get on there. My moniker is not my Instagram handle. And I just was 1000% myself, and I started sharing what I was wearing. I got to put some things to music, and I was just having fun and not caring at all what anybody else thought. And then when it started to gain traction, I thought, well, maybe I will put it over on Instagram. But I was initially kind of scared because I was worried what other people would think, honest to God. And after a while, you just get over it. You realize life is so short. As long as you're being kind, you're not offending anybody, and it's just fun, why not share what you love with everyone? Okay, so in between the dining room and the kitchen is this fun little butler's pantry, and I wanted to show it to you because I love the wallpaper so much. This is by Meg Braff, and I think she even has it in her butler's pantry. I saw it in a magazine or something, and it was kind of on my Pinterest board as something I always wanted to use. This is where I make my coffee every morning, where I get my rosé at night, and just keep our glasses there. And I have another fun piece of art from Janine McGuire right there, again with the lavender and the blues together. It's just really pretty. Oh, and then I should also note these gates to keep all the bad boys in and confined were custom done by a local woodmaker or contractor. And if you have to have gates, they should at least be pretty. So now I'd love to show you my kitchen, so follow me. So this kitchen was actually a complete gut renovation after we were here for about a year. Everything was brown and black and mustard and a lot of wallpaper, which I love wallpaper, but it just wasn't exactly my style. We took everything down to the studs, repainted the cabinetry, added new hardware, did some marble on the countertops and the backsplash, and it's basically the heart of the home, as most kitchens tend to be. We do homework here, we eat here, we laugh here, we drink here, we play games, we argue, we negotiate, all the things, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So this piece up here, of course, it's pink and green, my favorite, with a little touch of black. I loved this. It's by a local artist. Her name is Maureen Boyd. Love that piece. Over here, this piece, I just was drawn to the colors. I actually found this on Etsy and then just had it framed. And then if you pivot to this back wall, I framed a bunch of artwork that my girls had done when they were little. For example, like this was done by my daughter when she was 2.5. My husband sketched that little Marilyn Monroe. The rest were just done at school or art class. And I can remember each and every moment when they either brought this home or did it at the kitchen table. So I love a memory wall like that. And then again, the touch of fun and whimsy. I've always wanted a bubblegum machine. I think I even had one in my bedroom growing up. It didn't last long, as those sorts of things do in childhood bedrooms. But so when we moved in here, I was determined to get my gumball machine. So another thing that I really love in this kitchen is this light fixture. This light fixture is one from Visual Comfort. I'm not certain that they make it anymore, but they have one that's very similar. But what I love about this is that I swapped out the shades. I was really, when we redid the kitchen, I was really debating about doing 2 pendants like you see nowadays, but I didn't want it to look like everybody else's, so I kept what I had and just worked with the girls from Sorella Glen. They're also the women who did the pink shades in the foyer. And we picked a fabric and we put them on there, and I couldn't love it more because it's different, but still within my aesthetic. Never be afraid to kind of just think outside the box with design, with interiors, with fashion, with anything, and try it. And if it doesn't work, who cares? Who cares? Move on, and you can change it later. And now I'll take you into the breakfast room, which I don't really know why it's called the breakfast room because we always eat breakfast at the island, but at any rate, here we are. I recently refreshed this room. I purchased this rug. I love a Turkish rug. This is from a consignment shop in Wayne, a great store right in town. Put it on top of an Amazon rug just to give it kind of a layered look. I had had this table for a while. It's from Restoration Hardware, as are the chairs. And I just actually swapped out some of the chairs to give it a little bit more dimension. I think I found these, I think Home Goods, but don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure. But I have to say I'm a little bit proud of this little trick that I did, because I hadn't had any drapes or window treatments in here at all. I just wanted to keep it open and airy, but I felt like it needed something. So I found these actually on Amazon. Yes, you heard that correctly. And then I picked out this tape trim with the help of my friend Erin. I believe it's Schumacher, but I'd have to double check on that. Had my seamstress just sew it on, and it gives it such an elevated look, and it's an affordable option just to dress up your space. This light fixture I also love. It kind of the brass ties in with the hardware in the kitchen, and it is from a company called Lighting New York. They have an amazing selection of light fixtures. So I love that. And what also is nice about this room is that it gives you a window into the second most used room in our home, which is the family room. So I've never worked really hand in hand with an interior designer. So when other people ask me, how did you do your home, or what's a good place to start, I would say to do something that I did not do. And I kind of wish I had, because going forward, as I was doing other rooms, I was kind of chasing my tail a bit. So to retreat back to what I was saying, if you can pick a color scheme first and foremost, say like 3 colors that you want to kind of weave in throughout your home, I feel like you can get a very cohesive look that way. Even if you don't know what you're doing, if you stick to a color palette initially, I think it just lends a sense of kind of knowing what you are doing, even if you don't. And the last part of this area of the house, really this is the main area where we all live and play and etc., is the family room, the great room. It's a cozy spot. It's bright, it's colorful. I'm not gonna say my husband loves it, but it is what it is. I love it. I love a really comfortable, deep sofa where you can fit a ton of people. We all fight for the corner spot. Just some really comfy pillows, and I literally can't. I don't know who says this more, myself or my daughter. Fun acrylic table. This Louis Vuitton tray was found, oh gosh, where did we get that? My husband bought it for me for a gift. I think it was Valentine's Day when we were dating, or I don't remember, but I always love this. I always say I'm going to change it out, and I never do. But it's fun to kind of play with accessories and whatnot on here for the holidays. These chairs were recently recovered. They have been recovered, I would say, about 3 times now, because the boys, meaning the dogs, love to sit on them, roughhouse in here. It makes me insane in the membrane, if I'm being honest, but that's my life. So my friend Erin helped me pick a fabric that was more favorable for animals and children and dirt, and you can kind of just wipe it on off. And we added this fabulous bullion fringe from Samuel & Sons. Really, really fun little twist to it. Over here, it's just a bow front chest that has seen better days, I'm afraid. It could really use a recovering, but I carried over the theme of the blue and white chinoiserie. And at Christmas, I have a Santa collection that I will stack all different heights, and that's fun. And put a Santa hat on the animals on the walls. And then the artwork over here, this is our favorite piece in the entire house. It's by Fred Wagner. This is the piece that if the house is on fire, we get the kids out, the animals, and then we come back for this. It's one of those moody sorts of paintings that you can really sit here and get lost in. And we keep saying we're going to get some sort of an eyeball light to go down on these pieces, but we haven't done that yet. The most hated chairs in the entire house are these fun floral chairs that I've loved this fabric forever. My grandmother it's an old Dorothy Draper print that they brought back. My grandmother had this print in her house, and then a friend of mine had it as well. I saw it, it reminded me of my grandmother, and I thought, I need to redo it. These chairs are so super comfortable. They're actually from Cherish. They looked quite different, and then I recovered them. We are also huge music people. My girls played the violin for years and years and years, hoping to get them back into it. My other daughter is self-taught on the piano. I used to play the piano, my husband plays the guitar, and music is just a really, really important part of our lives. And then the disgusting crates that hopefully you're not going to show, but that's just life. And a good old Miss Pac-Man machine. It's just fun to play and challenge each other, and I just loved this sort of thing growing up. So again, just a little bit of fun, whimsy, and sometimes it's a conversation piece as well. So these drapes are like a heavy, I think it's like a Dutch silk. They're a silk fabric. Dorothy Draper, I believe. And when I did these, I thought to myself, what did I do? It's quite feminine, as you can see, but here we are. And now I like them. And I added these plates recently. I sourced these from an antique store a little further west. And I don't know, I love plates, I love it. Some people think they're old-fashioned, I think they're fun. Pink and green again. I do love some pink and green, what can I say? And the light fixture up top here was an IKEA find, and I just spray painted it gold. We laid out all the pieces flat and just sprayed and sprayed and sprayed, because initially when I bought it, it was white, and I always knew it was not going to remain white. I always knew I would paint it gold, which I did. My fashion style, if I were to describe it, it's, I would say, classic, a little elevated, but overall fun. And I think that when you go through my home, you get that sense as well. For example, I combine traditional pieces, you know, wood furniture, but with pops of pink or pastel or fun art. So I just love the juxtaposition of it all. And it just, above all else, I think it just says that I don't take myself too seriously. When I have friends over or family, I want people to feel warm and see that we're just a fun family. Okay, now I'm going to take you upstairs and show you my daughter's bedrooms, because we've recently given them a little refresh because they're in their teenage years now. So come on and I'll show you some of that. Okay, so before we head into my daughter's rooms, I just wanted to take a moment to kind of share this little nook with you. I love this window seat. I didn't make, but somebody else made this cover cushion for it. It overlooks our patio, which we love to spend a lot of time out on. I have these two paintings here, which I had intended to hang, and I will hopefully get to it later on. Oh, I'm going to put them on the walls here, I think, but I'm not sure. So, you know, in design, things are never finished. And then this painting, I get a lot of questions about as well. This was an heirloom from my husband's side of the family. This used to reside in our beach home. And then when we decided to part ways, we brought this along with us, and it's just a beautiful piece. All right, so let's go check out over here. Okay, I wanted to share with you now my eldest daughter's bedroom. This is Barrett's room. We recently refreshed this, and I'm really happy with the way it's come along so far. I picked a wallpaper from Meg Braff. I love Meg Braff. I have another paper of hers downstairs. So we did that, and then I matched the drapes, which I'll show you in a minute, to the wallpaper. I picked this photo because it's also in Gossip Girl, which is one of her favorite shows. And so she had seen this and said, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could get a really large version? And so we found that and did that. This is just an IKEA dresser that I switched out the hardware for. Kind of elevates that look as well. This here is just a baby chair, you know, a nursing chair, I think is what they actually call them, from my other daughter's room that I recovered. And then I wanted to add some color also to the walls, and just found these prints actually on Amazon and got some IKEA frames, and I also love the way that looks. Fun. All like kind of a beach theme. And then the drapes, as I mentioned, the fabric matches the wallpaper, and this is Meg Braff, who's an amazing, amazing designer and decorator. Oh, this bed actually was mine growing up. It's an antique old wrought iron bed. We keep saying we're going to repaint it, but I kind of like all the chips because it gives it some character. Oh, and these lamps are also Robert Abbey, similar to the pink one downstairs. And then this here I made with the, well, I designed and somebody else made it, let's be clear. Our old painter, Dale, did this when Barrett was a baby. And I just love it. I can't remember what it's called. It's not a diorama. It's not a shadow box. Something along those lines. And these are just all really cute little mementos of her, you know, growing up. And then this chair, oh, this chair is what put me over the edge in terms of needle pointing. I stitched this when I was pregnant with my second daughter. As I said, I haven't done too much else following that in the world of needlepoint, but it's really adorable. And I still can picture her little face sitting there with like her juicy cup when she was a toddler, and I love that. And the light fixture is just another great IKEA find right over here. It's just cute and fun. Lightweight also. Her desk actually is from a great store in Dallas called Madre Dallas. They're another group of girls who have exceptional taste, and we saw this on the website and ordered it away. Let's see what else. So she kind of uses this as a desk vanity hybrid. Just a fun mirror from Ballard. And I guess what we'll do now is head over to Cricket's room, who is my other daughter. So come on. Okay, now we're in my younger daughter's room. Her name is Maeve Kathleen, although we call her Cricket. It's a long story, it's not that interesting. What I will say is when we started to give this room a refresh, what really precipitated everything was this fabulous fabric here by Megan Adams. I love this so much. The periwinkle with the lavender kind of just really got my creative juices flowing, which is why we added the ceiling color, kind of just brings it together. These pillows here are just from Home Goods and they work as well. This fabric is also Megan Adams, and this here is just like a memory board. It's magnetic. We've had this in this room since she was a baby, and we just put all sorts of photos on here. This desk also kind of is a hybrid between a desk and a vanity. Don't look too close, it's dirty. This is a softball sock because she is a softball player. And also this fabric here from the curtains is Megan Adams. This piece of art is the first piece of art I ever bought. I love it. It's just, why can't we all get along? It's world peace, essentially, and I love that. And that was part of her old nursery, and I just love it. I may paint it going forward, not quite sure yet. My other favorite piece here is this giant Smarties, again with the candy. The conversation hearts, the candy bowl, the Smarties. This was bought at an old like children's store, and it's been in here for a while. I love it. Yeah, it's so cute. And then just same thing on her bureau. I put these disco balls on top of these vases to give it just a fun element, fun little mirror, Hollywood vibes, and a vintage rattan headboard. Perfect little spot for a 13-year-old, if I do say so myself. So home to me is everything. It means family, it means laughter, it means acceptance. Just above all else, a place where you can be yourself. You don't have to put on pretense or airs, and it's above all, it's love. It's love and laughter.
Hi Hi, Homeworthy. My name is Claire. Welcome to my apartment in Los Angeles, California. Let me show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, my name is Claire Randolph, and I'm a lifestyle and interior design content creator on TikTok. We're here at my apartment in Los Angeles, California. So I lived in this apartment building for 2 years before we moved into this unit. I lived in a smaller unit that was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and now we're in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, which is definitely an upgrade, especially when you live with a man. We were originally looking for a different apartment in a different building in a different part of Los Angeles, but we decided to stay in this building because of the views. They're spectacular. This building is amazing. Every unit has incredible views, but this one kind of has like a 90-degree view all the way from downtown to Hollywood, which is pretty amazing, especially at night. And the layout is so nice. I feel like the layout of this apartment is so unique. The 2 bedrooms are spread out enough to where, you know, if you have guests, you can't hear each other. You know, if like you're watching a movie at night and you don't want your TV to be too loud, it's like it's spread apart enough for it to be comfortable. And then this living area is just so nice for entertaining. Everything's in the same room. It's so open. You can have people watching TV and sitting at the bar and sitting at the table over there, all in the same space, and it feels like everyone's together versus all in different rooms. So this is my entryway. This is the first thing that you see when you enter the apartment, obviously. I had a hard time doing this space. I actually just got finished doing it. It's so small, I wasn't really even sure if a table would fit here, but I found this great one from Walmart actually, and I'm not really a distressed girl when it comes to furniture most of the time, but this one spoke to me for some reason. And then this mirror I had already, I didn't have a place to put it. It's from One Kings Lane. I love One Kings Lane. You'll see a lot of that throughout the rest of the house. And then these have to be one of my, maybe the favorite thing in my entryway. I got these off of Amazon and they're completely battery powered with a remote. And so you don't have to hardwire them into the wall. You just have to screw them in. This is definitely the most renter friendly hack I've come across so far, I think. And they have so many different options too. Like you can really like get deep into it. And then I just styled with I have these baskets under here that we put our like work bags in sometimes. I have these beautiful vases that I thrifted. I'm obsessed with them. I've had them in like my last 3 apartments, I think. And they're so pretty when you have flowers in them. And then one of my favorite artists, Jen Thatcher, she's out of Dallas and she makes the most beautiful art. So I have this cute little piece from her here. And then we have this armoire here, which honestly is probably too big for the space, but I keep all of my holiday decorations in here. So the storage is much needed. I wouldn't know what to do without this. So this stays here. Okay, so let's go check out the main living space now. So you come down this long hall. We have a laundry room right here, an extra storage closet here. I have this beautiful piece of art that my mom actually painted. She paints, and you'll definitely see a lot of her pieces throughout the rest of the tour in my apartment. I love her pieces. She's so talented. And then we have my bar cart here, which is being watched over by Mr. JFK, smoking a cigar. I love this photo. I've had this photo for such a long time and I didn't have it framed until recently. And I love the vibes that it adds. I'm not like a huge fan of black and white photography, but I think this is fun and I love it over the bar cart. And then bar carts are meant to be fun. I obviously have a million things on here. I have my Estelle glasses, which are one of my favorite brands ever. I have so many of them. They're so fun. They add so much color to a tablescape and they make something so boring, which is a glass of wine, fun with these colors, and they have so many different ones you can choose from. You'll notice through the rest of the video, I am a collector of many things and matchbooks is one of them. I have so many. Just a fun thing to add like a little personal touch, you know, when you have matchbooks from restaurants you've been to and, you know, associated with memories and fun stuff like that. We're obviously tequila drinkers in this house. There's not much other than tequila. I think we have like tequila, vodka, and Aperol, and that's it. So you better like tequila, vodka, or Aperol, because that's what you're getting when you come over here. Or Veuve, that's also always an option. I love to decorate with the bottles. I think the bottles are so unique and fun, and like, why would you put them away when they're so beautiful? I have this fun little bottle stand down here. I think that's actually meant for wine, but I have tequila in it. This is a fun home goods find. I love a good home goods find, you'll see. And then on top, I have this cute little Japanese tea set that I thrifted, which I think is so cute. I used to have tea sets like that when I was a kid, and I'm like, why not buy them and decorate with them? It's so much fun. And then the piece that houses all of this stuff, this beautiful bar cart that I got from Serena and Lily. I love Serena and Lily. I actually got this on Marketplace. It was brand new in the box for $75. And they still have it on their website for, I think, like $1,200. So it was a good steal. And then coming into my kitchen, we have this massive, I think 12-foot island. I think it's 12 feet. It's so hard to clean. Every single night when I cook, I hate cleaning this island. But I mean, there's only so much you can do with the space. So I have these I have a cute little basket here with my fruit. And then when I have like excess produce and stuff, I take these out and the fruit goes into here. And then a little orchid, and then a little easy access of cocktail napkins, which is a necessity in this house. I love cocktail napkins. That's another thing I like to collect, weirdly enough. Okay, and then if you come over here, this is like our cooking area. We have all the great prep area back here, and then over here is kind of where we just do more of the cooking. So over here is where I have all the cookbooks and all of the salt and pepper and olive oil and vinegars and everything you could need, easy access. I like that. And when I say that I like spaces that look lived in, like this is what I'm talking about. I like when you have your salt out and you have your oils out and it looks like a kitchen that's lived in. I feel like a lot of people have very sterile kitchens and there's just like nothing warm about that. And this is also such a new build and so modern. It's really not my taste. I would never pick out these cabinets or, you know, things like that, but there's easy ways to make things look good. I added these pools that I got off of Amazon. These were not the original pools, but like things like this make such a huge difference in such a sterile new build apartment like this, where it's so modern, because it could not be any further from my taste. I like to clutter things around because I feel like it takes away from that modernness, if that's a word. I'm a collector of Mackenzie Childs. I love Mackenzie Childs. I don't know if that's a Southern thing. I don't know. I love it. I think it's so fun. I got this pink tea kettle like a few months ago and I'm obsessed with it. I don't even drink tea. My boyfriend, we're at Bloomingdale's buying this and he's like, we don't even drink tea. And I'm like, I know, it's a decoration. And then I have my little cute Mackenzie Child spoon rest, my knives, and my coffee bar over here. The Nespresso is the best thing ever. It's like something you like start and you never stop. It's kind of addicting. But I just have like my coffee pods and stuff and these cute little Mackenzie Childs containers. And then this is actually like a cute little, I have honey packets in it now, but it's a little cream dispenser out of the cow, which I got at an antique store. And then in this is another like little creamer thing, but I put like in here for like tea. I have lavender and rose petals in here. And sometimes I use them to garnish my cocktails. So I have 2 rugs going down this long hallway. Honestly, when we moved in, I was looking for rugs like super fast. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to Home Goods and buy rugs because we need rugs and then I'll gradually replace them. But these have stayed. I got these at Home Goods. They're cute little like Rifle Paper Co. Runners, and they didn't have one that was long enough. So I was like, I'm just gonna put 2 down, and I still like it. So they stay. Another cute little fun item I have from Wheezy Towels is this little dish towel that says Leap by 9, and it has stains on it. I was obviously not very prepared for Homeworthy with that, but that's from Wheezy. I love Wheezy. You'll see Wheezy everywhere. This is one last thing. This is random, but my chicken soap, I'm obsessed with it. I got it. I don't even remember where I got this, but I was like, I have to have this chicken soap. I love it. In like 2015, I started this thing that was kind of new at the time called a blog. and I would do, you know, some interior stuff, but mostly fashion. That's what got me into the influencer space, I guess, especially being in Dallas at the time. There were so many bloggers in that area. I continued to do that for about 3 years, and then I moved to Los Angeles for school. I went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in downtown LA, and I majored in social media, which is known as digital marketing now. My background in blogging inspired me to do that for school. So I went through 4 years there, and I got my bachelor's degree in digital marketing, and I started to work I was working in PR, and then I was doing social media for some different brands and influencers and companies. And I was thinking to myself, why am I wasting all of my knowledge and all of these skills on other people when I could be doing it myself? So in January of 2023, I started my TikTok page, and the first video surprisingly did well. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna post a second video. And then it's just kept going from there. So coming over here into our dining area, this is one of my other favorite spaces in the apartment. I had this 9-foot-long buffet credenza in my old apartment because we had a crazy long entry hallway, and this is the only thing that made sense in the space. So one of the requirements when we were picking out this apartment is that I had to have a wall where this could fit, and this was the only wall it fit in the whole apartment. So it is here, and it works out great because when I have people over and we're sitting here, I can put food here, I can remove this stuff and put food there, and it's it works as an actual buffet, so it's nice. And it also is great storage. It houses a lot of my arts and crafts and my cocktail napkins from my cocktail napkin addiction. A huge focal point of this room are these paintings by Haley Mitchell. She's a Dallas-based artist. As you can tell, I love having Dallas-based artists in my home. I think it's fun because I'm from Dallas, and there's so many talented artists there that make amazing paintings. So I like to make the joke that this is me and this is my boyfriend Parker. But it's definitely something I get the most comments on my TikToks is, where did you get your art? Where did you get your art? And you know what? I think I can go out on the limb and say they're my favorite thing in this home. I love these paintings. Love, love, love. And then coming down from the paintings, how I have this credenza decorated. I love having picture frames all over. I have photos of family and friends, and I think that's just another thing that adds so much character to your home is all these amazing memories that you have being on display. Obviously a ginger jar. I have so many ginger jars throughout my home, you'll see, but this is one of my favorites. I got this at HomeGoods, but it actually looks so real. My mom is a professional at ginger jars, and she got this at HomeGoods, and she was like, oh my gosh, you have to go to your HomeGoods and see if they have this because it looks like a real one. And it does. It looks really nice. It's a good ginger jar. And then I think everybody might have these in their home that has my decor taste. These lamps also from HomeGoods. I'm saying HomeGoods a lot, but I love HomeGoods. These lamps, everyone wants them. Everyone is like, where is your lamp from? Where are your lamps from? And I see them in so many other people's house, but they're so fun. They give me kind of retro, country club vibes. I love these lamps, and they look amazing at night too with the light coming out of the wicker. And then continuing down, I have more photos. I have this artichoke here, which I said I'm a collector of many things. That's just something I've started collecting. I have a few random artichokes all over the apartment. I don't know why, I think it's fun. So I have that, and then another little painting that I actually painted. I painted this painting on a rainy day. I think I was bored, but just another example of you don't have to have a lot of money to make your space look nice. I literally used my watercolors that I had at home and made this. So you can always make your own decor yourself. Keep that in mind. These amazing chairs I have in here, I actually got from Target. I was looking for Chippendale style bamboo chairs for a long time, and they were crazy expensive. I was about to buy the ones from Birch Lane because there were no other options. And then I found these miraculously. There were only 4 left on Target.com, and I bought them, and I'm obsessed with them. I think they're so chic, and they add adds so much character to the dining room. And then I have this amazing vase. I am obsessed with this vase. I always have it filled with Trader Joe's hydrangeas. I love Trader Joe's flowers. They're the best, they're the cheapest. Actually, all the flowers in here that you see today are from Trader Joe's, and I did them myself. But these are always in here. I always have hydrangeas in this vase. That's too pretty not to. And then obviously we have this beautiful light. My boyfriend and his dad own a lighting company called SPJ Lighting based out of LA, and they made this beautiful fixture for me. I designed it and they built it and made it and hung it, and I'm so thankful. It's so beautiful. And then this is kind of a random corner I didn't really know what to do with, so I just have a chair there for now. I have this beautiful, I got these John Richards chairs on Marketplace. It's another amazing Marketplace find. And I'll tell you how much I got them for because it's a brag. I got them for, I think, $300. I have two. I have another one in my guest bedroom that you'll see later. I got both of these for, I think, $350. And they retail online for $2,800 a piece. And I got them at this like estate sale off Facebook Marketplace. So this is another very proud find of mine. I will always toot my own horn on how I got these two chairs for $350. Then I have this cute kind of little Greek style pillow that was actually like in my childhood bedroom. And then I love these cute little Furbish needlepoint pillows. This one says my favorite thing to make for dinner is reservations, which is true, but I thought it was a cute little kitschy saying to have in the dining room. And then above the chair, I have, people always ask me, this is another thing that is the most asked question, is who makes this art? And I don't know, I bought it at HomeGoods. It's another HomeGoods thing. But above here, this is a work of art by Paige Gumball. She makes a lot of beautiful prints like this, and I'm obsessed with that one. I will always have that painting. I think my favorite room slash space in my apartment is definitely the living area. I don't even know what you would call it. The living room, kitchen, dining room, bar, hybrid. It's where we spend the most of our time, you know, watching football games, having cocktail nights, and a lot of great memories are made around this island right here. So I think that's my favorite room for that reason. In my old apartment in this building, everything, all the furniture was kind of pushed up against the wall, and now everything's kind of floating and airy and you can walk through everything, and that's something that I love about this room. And then right off the dining kitchen area, we have our living room, which is definitely where we spend most of our time. We have this huge sofa that we actually got at Living Spaces. And you know what? It's been a good sofa. Despite being a cheap sofa, it was a good sofa. In our old unit, we had to have really specific measurements and a really specific, like the chase had to be on the left side. So we looked forever for a sofa, and this is really the only one we could find, but it's a great sofa. Living Spaces makes great sofas, surprisingly. And then I have this shelf here that I actually got from IKEA and spray painted. These have come with me to many apartments too, and they're kind of thrashed, so don't zoom in too far. But I have on top, I needed height because our ceilings are so tall. I think we have 12-foot, either 10 or 12-foot ceilings, I'm not sure. But they're really high, so I have to kind of like go upwards with a lot of stuff. So I have ginger jars up here. And then these are my grandmother's Staffordshire dogs that she gave me. I'm very honored. They were always in her house, and she bought them at one of our favorite stores in Dallas called Sample House back in the day. And now they live with me in LA. And then I just have a lot of fun stuff on here. Candles, lots of photos, lots of blue and white chinoiserie pieces. I have my boyfriend's hole-in-one. We have to make it look like he does live here. We have to give a little bit of proof. So this is my way of giving a little bit of proof. And then I also have like some little golf things kind of like sprinkled around. But I love decorating with like his awards and stuff. I think it's fun. It's another thing that adds character. And then one of my favorite things to talk about, I think I could talk about it forever, is pillows. These are always changing. I'm always changing these. I got these at HomeGoods. I love these. They're so pretty. And at HomeGoods, you can like really find good pillows if you look. They have like so many Ralph Lauren ones and amazing brands. You just have to look at the tags, you have to look at the brands. And usually at HomeGoods, when things are more expensive, it means it's nicer. So also look at the tag and you can be like, oh, this is kind of expensive for HomeGoods. And then look up the brand and you find that you got, you know, a $200 pillow for like $80, which is amazing. And then I'm pretty sure these leopard ones are from Little Design Co., but don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure. I've had these for a long time too. These were also in my bedroom when I lived at home, along with the pink one over there. And then I have these beautiful pillows. You're gonna see a lot of pillows from this brand throughout the rest of my apartment, but I got these from an Etsy shop called Indulgence Decor. They make everything custom. They do all this beautiful trim work on everything, and you can customize the sizes, you can customize what fabric you want to go with what trim, and it's really personal, and it's a great company, and they're super fast. And then another HomeGoods pillow. I love this color. I feel like this pillow, I've had this for a long time. I've always felt like it ties in my blue paintings that are in my dining room. So I love having this on the sofa. And then obviously lots of cozy blankets. My boyfriend is always laying here watching sports, so we have to make sure he's comfortable. And then I have this coffee table that was another Facebook Marketplace find when we moved into our last apartment. And it's not typically something I would usually pick out, but I do love it. I love like the architecture of it. I think it's like modern, kind of in a traditional way, which I like. And I just have some fun books and always have to have a candle. I have a tray for my remotes. This is all about like functionality, and then I just have like some books. And then I have this amazing Barbie book that I got after seeing the Barbie movie, because like the rest of America, I was radicalized by the Barbie movie. And Margot Robbie and her stylist actually made this book of all of her press tour looks from the movie. So it's really fun, and I'm always flipping it to different pages to give the room different vibes. And then I have these beautiful gray and white leopard chairs from One Kings Lane. I love these chairs. They're so comfortable. They are chairs, but they can also be pieces to a sectional. So they're really deep and they're really comfortable, and you can like put your feet up in these chairs. And my boyfriend's always sitting on the couch facing the TV, and I'm always sitting here like looking at the view. So I have two of them, and I have them separated by this just a cute little like cocktail table to put your drink on. And then we love to play games, backgammon and gin specifically. So I have all of our games down here. And then if you want to play Cards Against the Kardashians, that's always an option, which is a really fun and kind of vulgar game, honestly. I have these really fun beaded chinoiserie pillows in each chair, and different blankets on the back of each, just because I felt like there was too much symmetry. So if you look at the little cocktail table, I have more of my matches that I have collected over the years. And I have these cute little Texas coasters that I got at a thrift store somewhere. I don't remember where, but I love to have little Texas, like nods to Texas sitting around. I think it's fun. Diptyque candle. I'm obsessed with Diptyque. I'm sure you'll notice that throughout the rest of the video too, but I'm obsessed with Diptyque candles. I think they're the most quality candle you can buy. Even though they're expensive, they're worth the money. And then behind these chairs, we have one of the newest pieces in this apartment, which is this antique serpentine solid mahogany buffet table. I had looked for a piece like this for so long, just like on Facebook Marketplace and at antique stores, and I couldn't find the right one. I couldn't find one that I loved, or one that's like at the right price point, because these can be like thousands and thousands of dollars. But I ended up getting this one on Facebook Marketplace. It's the guy who I bought it from told me it's from like the end of the 1800s. So I don't know if that's true, but we'll take his word for it. And then I have a lot of coffee table books on this piece. I love coffee table books that tell a story. Just everything that, you know, we love, and everything that my boyfriend loves, everything we love as a couple. Taylor Swift, I love Hill House. We have Chanel and Saint Laurent. I have a Paramount book here because my boyfriend's grandfather was actually the president of Paramount Studios for many years. So that's like a fun nod to his family. And I actually found that at an antique store too, which is so fun. And then again, just a lot of photo frames and this fun tray that I bought at Home Goods as well that reminded me of Gucci with the little buckles on the side. More Staffordshire dogs. I love Staffordshire dogs. I think such a fun thing to collect. Obviously, I've told you already, I'm a collector. I love stuff like that. It gets me excited. And then more books, like I said, golf books. I have these like vintage golf books and then a lot of blue and white, and Veranda is one of my favorite magazines to read. And then I have another piece of art here from Jen Thatcher. Her pieces are so beautiful. Same artist as the piece in my entryway, but she makes these beautiful like little tiny tabletop pieces, which I think is fun because when you have so many photo frames around, it's nice to like have a mix up. Like, okay, here's a frame with a piece of art in it, you know? So it's like not so busy with the photos, but love Jen Thatcher. Then I have this beautiful mirror here that is a dupe for some designer that I don't remember the name of, but I got it at Home Goods as well. And I love the texture it adds. I love like the ruffly white. I like the white on white. This is where I do all of my OOTDs on TikTok that no one cares about because they're like, girl, we're here for decorating, not your outfits. A lot of people ask me what I would call my decor style, and I think that's kind of a loaded question because I don't really even know myself, but I think the closest word for it would probably be grand millennial. I also take a lot of inspiration from growing up in Dallas and growing up in the South. You know, my mom was always decorating and going to antique shops and picking out amazing ginger jars, and I take a lot of inspiration from that. I think my favorite home design tip that I have to share with, you know, people and my followers is that you do not have to have a lot of money to make your space look good. There is Facebook Marketplace and there's Home Goods, and I mean, even I have stuff from Walmart in my apartment. You know, it's all about your taste. It has nothing to do with spending a bunch of money, going to thrift stores, going to antique stores. That's my biggest piece of advice, is that you do not have to have a lot of money to make your space look nice. So this is my guest bedroom. If you are one of my guests, this is where you would be staying. I got this really cute table from One Kings Lane. I needed a tiny, tiny table here. I just felt like it needed something and I didn't know what else I could do in this corner. So I got this great table and I love it. And then just kind of styled it. I have more of my boyfriend's golf trophies and this really fun mushroom art that kind of matches the horse art in the dining room. And then right above is this beautiful mirror. It's one of my favorite things in this apartment. I know I'm probably saying that about everything, but I love this mirror. It's actually from Amazon, but it's a dupe for a mirror that Horchow does for way more expensive. So I was so happy to find this, and it's such beautiful quality. And then in the guest bedroom, I decided to do a desk in here just so this space wasn't like completely unusable to us. So I have the desk underneath the TV, like instead of where a dresser would go, which is nice because I do come in here and I use the desk, and you know, you can close the door and have your privacy. Photos everywhere of everyone and everything. And then I have my second John Richards chair here with another cute little furbished pillow that says, "Mom, I am a rich man," from Cher, of course. And then in here, you can actually see the back of this chair better. You can't see it in the dining room, but the back of this chair is like a beautiful mirrored design on the back. And then instead of a nightstand in here, I decided to do a shelf because I was saying earlier, I like to really play on height in this apartment because the ceilings are so high. So it still works as a nightstand. There's a lamp on it and you can still put your drink on the side or put your phone on the side if you need to, but it just adds a little bit more height. And using shelves as nightstands is something I've done before, and I really like how it looks, especially if you have room to do two on either side. It's really beautiful symmetry. And then this bed I've had for a long time. It was my bed before my boyfriend and I moved in together, so we reused it. And I have these beautiful pillows on here, again, from Indulgence Decor on Etsy. They do, once again, beautiful custom pillows. Whatever you want, they'll make it. And I love the ones in here. I love the light blue with the pink and how all the colors play in. And then they helped me design these, and they helped me pick out this beautiful navy pillow in the front that has this like kind of mustard edging around the sides. I love Indulgence Decor pillows. And then in the guest room, I wanted to do really nice linens because obviously it's for guests and you want to treat your guests better than you treat yourself. So I have this really beautiful linen quilt on top with this gorgeous pink kind of textured duvet that's filled with feathers, so it's extra comfortable for when the guests come and stay. And then if you want to follow me into the guest bathroom, you kind of go down this hall. It's disconnected from the guest bedroom, which is nice because then you have a little bit of a powder room when people come over and they don't have to walk into the guest bed. As you walk in, I have this gorgeous Lily and August painting that I got from One Kings Lane. It's like a green abstract. And if you walk in further, you can tell that I kind of played on the greens and pinks in this bathroom and a lot of tan. I had this vanity. I miss this vanity. I used to have this vanity in my bathroom, but it doesn't fit in my new one. So I have it in the guest bathroom. And it is so nice. I've heard from when guests come and stay, they like, if it's two people, they like have their separate space of the countertop for getting ready. And then another main focal point in my bathroom are these Wheezy towels. Wheezy is the best. They're so great with customizations. They did half of these in my initials and half of them in my boyfriend's initials because we don't share a last name, so we couldn't do the same one. So in both of our bathrooms, you'll see we have like separate towels, which I think is really fun. But Wheezy is the best. They're the best towels. They're so soft. Such a great company. I love working with them. Again, playing off of the greens and pinks, the shower curtain is obviously doing that for us. And I have it hanging on these cute little brass hooks that I feel like add an extra little element of design in here. And then it also matches this amazing Chanel artwork that I bought from this man at Melrose Trading Post in LA. And he told me that this painting was hanging at Paris Fashion Week. I don't know even what year it would have been, but that's what he told me. And it does have all the stamps of approval and stuff on it, but honestly, who knows? I took it to Michael's and I had it framed and I did like an orange mat and a gold frame, but I will always have this piece. I think it's so fun and I love it. I also have this really fun piece of photography from Gray Malin of these Dalmatians sitting down at the Beverly Hills Hotel for some lunch, which is something I love to do. So I relate to these Dalmatians. I just think it's fun. I love Gray Malin. I think he has amazing photography, and specifically the Beverly Hills Hotel collection is spectacular. Over here, I have some more art. I got this, I think I got this at Melrose Trading Post too. This really cool like Vogue golf inspired print that I think is so fun, and I love the colors, and anything to add golf into the house I will always do. My boyfriend loves golf and he has a say too in this girly apartment. Down on the vanity, I like to just keep it simple. I have napkins for drying your hands. So people don't use the Wheezy towels to dry their hands. And then for when guests come, I have, Q-tips and flowers and a little lamp that you can turn on so you can find your way in the middle of the night. And then soap. And my favorite candle, I got this off of a TikTok shop actually. I am obsessed with this candle. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. I think it's so funny. And now come with me and we'll check out the primary bedroom. So coming into our bedroom, I call this bedroom the blue and green room because these pillows are the first thing that I started with. These are the first things I bought. These are from Indulgence Decor, again, on Etsy. They're custom. I love the paneling on these blue ones. I wanted paneled pillows and they sent me a bunch of swatches and I had these done. And then I also had this beautiful bolster pillow done that's really long. And I love the colors in this. I love the tie-in of the green. And then my comforter is from William Morris. this. I love all of William Morris's prints and fabrics, and I fell in love with this one. I love that it adds like a little bit of yellow to the room, so the bed's not fully all blue and green, because if you look under, the rug is also blue and white, so it's a lot of blue going on, so I wanted to kind of like chop that up a little bit. And then the art above the bed I got from this like warehouse sale in Van Nuys, like random, a long time ago, and I thought they were pretty. They're a little bit beat up, but I love them. I like how they're kind of like matted and they have linen behind them and just a little crystal moment. I think it's fun. Moving over to the nightstands, my boyfriend and I's nightstands are very different. Mine is all about functionality. I saw a girl on TikTok a long time ago. I wish I remembered who it was, but she had like a little tiered tray on her nightstand to hold like the stuff that she might need like while she's in bed watching TV, like my lotion and my glasses and a nail file and the remote. So I always have this on my nightstand. This is such a great tip. I will never not do this. And then I have my little water carafe, that crystal water carafe that I thrifted. It's fun. You like fill it up with water, and then instead of drinking out of a water bottle, you have this beautiful cup to drink your water out of at night. It makes me feel fancier than I actually am. And then again, just photos and a candle. These nightstands are from Birch Lane. I wanted something burlwood for a long time in my apartment, but I wasn't sure which piece I wanted to do. And when I found these nightstands, I was like, yes, this is the burlwood that I've been looking for in my apartment. So I love these nightstands. And then my boyfriend's nightstand over here is super simple. I found this cute little golfer guy at a thrift store, and I thought he was so cute. So he lives here now. And then just photo frame, candle, little box to put like his stuff in so it's not out on display for everyone to see. And then a coaster. He does not always use it, but I told him you have to use a coaster on these nightstands. And then my beautiful dresser. I just got this dresser from Ballard Designs. It's called the Grace Dresser. I am obsessed. It has such good storage inside. The drawers are so deep. And I love all the little detailing, like the cute little trim on the side, and it goes all the way around to the front. And I love that it has 3 legs in the front instead of 2. And then it has this cute like little lip on top, which is just more character. I love pieces with character, especially if I'm gonna buy something new. I don't buy a lot of stuff brand new. I always try to find, you know, antique before I look for something new. But I love this, and I love the cute little knobs and the little brass details it adds. Great dresser. And then what I have on top of the dresser, I have a bunch of coffee table books. I have actually read every single coffee table book that's in my apartment. Not read, but I have flipped through them. So I know what's inside of all of them, and they all have amazing inspiration. So these are a few that I love, specifically these 4. And then I just have a bunch of photos of family and more diptyque candles. That was a fun like Valentine's Day one that they did. And then I have a bowl here with all of my bracelets. I have all of my jewelry kind of on top of here too, but I have all of my friendship bracelets from the Taylor Swift concert in this one. And then this is like my actual jewelry box that I put all of my jewelry in. And then above I have these cute little plates. We obviously have to have like a Southern plate hanging moment in here. So I did them around the TV, and I think it's so fun because just made that negative space so much more pretty. And then I have a beautiful piece of art here from an artist named Katie Romeo. She has an Etsy store and she makes beautiful paintings. She did this one for me with lyrics from the song 7 by Taylor Swift on it. And it's one of my favorite songs, some of my favorite lyrics. And I love having this in here. It's so special. And then if you follow me into here, this is our primary bathroom. Unfortunately, there aren't 2 sinks in here, which is kind of weird to me, but we do have a lot of space to make up for that. We have this mirror here, which is actually so nice. I don't know how I'm gonna live without these when I move, but this is the best thing ever when you're getting ready in the morning. So I decided to do a shelf in here to save on countertop space because I like to have my perfumes out, and we have storage under here, but we don't have much storage. So I decided to hang this shelf, and I love it. I think it's fun. It's like a fun way to display your pretty perfumes and, you know, products, and put a candle on there. And I have Q-tips and a diptyque candle again in this bathroom. This is one of my favorite things to do. I think it's so pretty. And then I have this little tray down here with some napkins for drying your hands. I have my bowl of lipsticks that I reach for every morning. Again, with the diptyque, these beautiful soaps and lotions. I love these. And then moving over here, we have this like beautiful hydrangea kind of art over here. I love it. I found this at HomeGoods, and I went with my boyfriend like maybe 3 weeks before I bought this, and I saw this and he was like, you don't need that. It's ugly. We don't need this. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So we didn't get it. And I was thinking about it. So I was like, I'm gonna go back and see if they still have it. And it was on sale, so I bought it. So that's how that ended up there. And then in this corner, I have a cute little table with some room spray and a diffuser and a candle. Again, just taking up negative space because this bathroom, when we got in, it was so hard for me to decorate because like I said in my kitchen, it's such a new build. It's so modern, it's so white. So I replaced the knobs obviously in this bathroom too, but really anything to warm the space up and, you know, not have it so white in this corner. So I love having the little table here. I love that there's room for that. And then I have this great shower curtain. I love the colors in here. I've been trying to add like more browns into my apartment to warm it up, which I've really been liking. And I found this great shower curtain that has like some scallop detail on the side. So pretty. And it matches my beautiful Wheezy towels that I have in here. I have the blue and white ones in here. Again, I already said this, Wheezy's the best. I love Wheezy. And then for my rugs, I got these from, it's called House of Noah. They are like really padded, so it's nice when I'm like standing there doing my hair because I have this little leopard poof here that I sit on, but I don't always sit on it because sometimes I like to stand. So these rugs are amazing. They have like the thickest like padding on the bottom that makes it so comfortable. So I love these rugs and I love the color. I love that they're like simple, they're not too crazy. Great rugs, I love these rugs. Home to me is a space that feels lived in and comfortable and cozy, and you know, this home specifically, I have so many amazing memories in this apartment already, and we've only lived here for 6 months of just girls' nights with my friends, and it just started. But football season, my boyfriend is huge into sports, and having people over to gather for things like that, and you know, we have a lot of Taylor Swift nights in this apartment when she releases new albums. So a lot of fun stuff. And I think that's what makes this apartment specifically feel so comfortable and homey to me, is that I have so many memories inside of it with the people that mean the most to me.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Amy.
I'm John.
And welcome to our apartment on the Upper East Side.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
My name is Amy Littleson McNitt, and I run the fashion and lifestyle blog after my namesake, Amy Littleson, and we are in our Upper East Side apartment.
John McNitt, I'm a financial advisor, and just here to watch Amy, you know, do her thing. So we lived at the shore, or the Jersey Shore on LBI for a couple months. Amy was previously in Philadelphia. I was downtown here in New York. And once the fall hit and people were starting to come back to the city, we started to look for an apartment together. And we were generally looking on the, you know, east side, Upper East Side, and we came across this beautiful spot here.
I grew up in New Jersey, pretty close to New York City actually, and for whatever reason, never wanted to live in New York, never dreamed about it, never saw myself ending up here. But after we graduated college, we went to the University of Richmond. Johnny moved here, and most students who graduate Richmond end up in New York, I would say, the majority. So all of our siblings are here and most of our best friends. When COVID hit, I resigned to work on my blog and Instagram full time. and knew that Johnny was in New York and knew that we wanted to move in together. So that kind of kicked off our process. And as soon as I visited the Upper East Side, I became infatuated with it and really fell in love with this neighborhood, and particularly our building. It was the first time I could see myself in New York City, and we've been here for 4.5 years. Our building truly feels like family, and we've been so happy in this spot. It really blows my mind how much I love New York. We're gonna stick around hopefully long enough to be able to call ourselves New Yorkers. Welcome to our dining space. This was envisioned by our designer Adnan to kind of be like the focal point when you walk into our apartment. And then we have our love sack, sectional, they call it, kind of dividing up the dining space from the living space, which we have really thought to be super functional and great for hosting. Here I have a setup for dinner tonight. We have a number of like our favorite pieces. I actually don't have any of our flatware or china from our wedding registry here. We couldn't fit it. It's in storage at my parents' home in Maine. So this is just our everyday stuff that we love to use. And it actually works really well and draws in a lot of the like navies and greens around the apartment. Funny story, I actually picked out these plates and just loved this floral pattern around them. And then a few months later, I was visiting Johnny's home in Winnetka, Illinois, and realized they have a number of bowls with this same exact pattern on it that I ended up asking Johnny's mom about, and they actually belonged to his grandma. So just by happenstance, I ended up picking out the same pattern that his grandma had used too when she was alive, which I just thought was really sweet. And I've already asked if we can have those pieces later on. And also you'll see these little place card holders were actually from our wedding. They held the table numbers on each of the tables in our wedding tent, and I've just repurposed them here to be place card holders. They're just precious little topiaries. We included a ton of topiaries in our wedding. It was very like garden party-esque. So they're just a fun little detail that is a fun little conversation piece when we have people over. So this table is Magnolia Home. It was actually my parents, and they kindly gave it to us because I just was in love with the scallop detailing here. We painted it Benjamin Moore White Dove, which is our favorite shade of white. Actually, the color of the walls in our apartment were Benjamin Moore White Dove when we moved in, and I joke that that was one of the reasons I fell in love with this apartment. I just think it's the creamiest, prettiest, most classic shade of white. And then the chairs, usually these, I believe they're called like Chippendale chairs, cost like a few $100s a chair. But my mom and I found these at Pier 1 when they were going out of business. We painted them white, and then she helped me recover the cushions in this green and white Schumacher fabric. Our designer used to work for Schumacher, so it was a no-brainer to include and incorporate some of their fabrics and prints into our apartment. The citrus garden is actually the one that I picked out first and that we based our entire color palette around. And just a fun little hack is that we ordered samples of citrus garden, and they came in this like 1 by 1 foot block. And I wasn't gonna do anything with them. So my mom was like, you should just make pillows out of the samples, which is what we ended up doing, and just had her seamstress put it together with this fabric on the back, and they make the perfect little dining pillow. So this is probably one of my favorite little areas in the apartment. I am not much of a cook or a chef or a baker, but I am a cocktailer and can whip up a mean cocktail. So this bar cart is my kind of like happy place. Along the bottom, you'll see We have collected alcohol from some of our favorite places, particularly Soggy Dollar rum from Joost van Dyke in the British Virgin Islands. We have a beautiful decanter here that matches some of our blue stemless wine glasses that you'll see. And then here is my backstock of Veuve. I've visited the Veuve Clicquot champagne house in France and really am drawn to and love the story of Madame Clicquot. So it's always a good idea to have backstock of Veuve in case somebody comes over and we need to open a bottle. And up here, you'll see we're kind of getting ready to make cocktails tonight. On the left are napkins that one of my best friends gave me that are just like the prettiest shade of blue. And we have the Hotel Lobby New York candle, which is a female-founded New York-based brand I love. This picture is very fitting for a bar cart. It was the re-entrance that we did for our wedding, where I got on Johnny's shoulders with sparkling bottles of champagne and walked into the tent after my outfit change. Funny story, my parents had no idea we were planning this, and the band knew because like they were queued up to play Kygo when we came in, and it was just like such a hysterical memory from the night, and is really fitting as I'm carrying 2 bottles of Veuve here. Also, one more tidbit that I learned is that it's Veuve like love, not Veuve. So it's always a debate. I promise you it's Veuve. And over here, we have a beautiful ice bucket, which actually all of my bridesmaids gave me for my bridal shower, that I just love. It's personalized with our last name. I'm a huge sugar fiend, and this is my favorite gummy. My mom and I always have these in some sort of capacity and are eating them. Then I've got 2 lamps here, just to give it a little bit of warmth, and then this gorgeous Slim Aarons photo, which I recently had reframed, and I will say it was a splurge to reframe it, but so worth it. I ended up going with the museum glass for this, which is like anti-glare and looks so gorgeous in real life. And the framers I use are right around the corner from me, and they do the framing for all of the art in the Chanel and Louis Vuitton stores around the world, and they frame a lot for the Met too. So they definitely knew what they were doing. It cost a pretty penny, but I will have this forever, and it's just one of our favorite slim photos of everybody just relaxing, cocktailing it up in Palm Beach, which I think is the perfect epitome of what this whole space entails. On the opposite side from the bar cart, right next to our dining table, we have our glassware cabinet. I don't know what the next space that we live in will look like, so I wasn't trying to spend a fortune on the big furniture pieces in case we have to sell them or give them away. So I found this on Amazon, and we took the leftover wallpaper from our half bath and lined the back of it, which makes it look much more custom. And then throughout, you'll find our glassware that we've collected over the years. And also, my bridal shower was Stock the Bar themed, which was such a fun idea that my mom and her best friend came up with. They hosted it, so everyone brought fun things for our bar cart or for us to host or drink with. So a lot of this, it was gifts from that fun party. And also things that I've collected. Like here, you'll see a little picture that I just picked up on a trip to Provence this past October. A lot of these things are personalized as well. These Waterford glasses say the McNits on them. And then these little whiskey glasses entail the coordinates of the University of Richmond, where we met. And then down at the bottom, we have a cocktail maker set and this gorgeous Jonathan Adler tray. I love a lot of his pieces because they're a little eccentric and have a really fun pop of color. So you'll see I've woven in a ton of different decor items of his throughout our apartment. The design process was a challenge because we were coming from living in 2 separate spaces. I lived with 2 other girls in Philadelphia in a very hot pink, girly, Barbie-esque apartment. And Johnny lived with 3 other guys in the East Village, where I'm pretty sure the only decor that they had was like a rogue American flag thumbtacked on the wall, okay? And so we had to merge our styles, and we also were renting, so we couldn't do a ton of physical changes to the apartment, but had to get really creative with our designer on making the space really feel our own and merging not only all of our stuff, but just both of our personalities and likes and interests into one apartment. Luckily, we had a lot of help. So one of Johnny's former classmates from New Trier, where Johnny grew up in Winnetka, Illinois, is a designer, and he lives on the Upper East Side, and I've become good friends with him. His name is Adnan Anwar, and he really helped us curate this apartment, from the layout to finding items that reflected both of our hobbies and interests. And then he was hands-on when we moved in, truly here making sure everything was styled to perfection and like the best reflection of our relationship and our history together.
My one request when we moved in was to make sure that someone, when they walked through the front door, knew that a guy lived here. So we can walk through the various pieces later, but there are some hints here that, you know, this is a couple's apartment and a joint apartment, if you will.
I sacrificed a lot of my pink from my former all-girls apartment, okay? When Johnny would come visit me in Philadelphia, he referred to pretty much all of our decor as pink fluffies, because either something was pink or it was like white Sherpa fluffy. So you'll see I've kept a few touches of pink, but really I'm just grateful his favorite colors are navy and green.
The blue couch we're sitting on is a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
All right, so over here is something close to my heart as well, and for a few different reasons. This is a Scottie Pippen photo, and one, it's the Chicago player dunking over Patrick Ewing, which is probably one of the most famous New York Knicks players of all time. So that's kind of ironic that we've chosen to live in New York and we have that photo. But another thing is it doesn't really match the gold framing around here. You can see it's a silver frame, but we were able to get it on the wall for a reason. Credit to Adnan Anwar, actually. He overrode my mother-in-law when they were trying to hang it up in the bathroom or put it under the bed. He said Scottie Pippen is a very important person in Chicago history, and he happens to be right. So that's how that got out here. It didn't quite make it to the gallery wall, but we're happy as a consolation. Silver medal, if you will, with the silver lining here.
So once you exit our dining area, you walk right into our living space, where we have this stunning Lovesac sectional, which, long story short, but I wanted a white couch for this space, and our designer Adnan convinced me to go with navy. And let me tell you, it was the best decision we made, because we live on this thing. Like, sometimes we're bad and we'll eat dinner on it with the coffee table. We host people here. I've had people, I take off these back cushions and turn it into a twin bed when we have guests. It has served such a purpose and been the best sectional, they call it a sectional, ever. We love it. It's super comfortable and deep and just awesome. And around it, we kind of built out this little nook, which includes our coffee table, which is like a focal point here, with some of our favorite coffee table books that kind of represent the both of us. We've got New York Chic here, and then a book about Wrigley Field below. We love a game of backgammon, so we have this gorgeous board here that was gifted to us for our wedding. And then over here we have a little side table, which includes this gorgeous faux orchid, which people can never believe is fake. It's actually an Amazon find. And this is a fun little tidbit. I had these matches made for our apartment. They say Amy and Johnny's on the Upper East Side. And I had them initially made for our holiday party, that we throw every year here, but now they just kind of sit out for guests to take when they're over. Our holiday party is probably our favorite thing we do in our apartment. We have like 50 to 60 of our friends come over, which is kind of crazy because the space is small. And we cover the entire floor with like cheap white Amazon rugs because things get crazy, okay? Like as soon as we whip out the shot ski, it's all bets are off and stuff is spilled and it's like, we have a bartender come. It's so fun. Usually Johnny and I do an outfit change where we dress up as Mr. and Mrs. Claus mid-party. So that in itself is a whole affair, and we had these matches there this year for that. And now I've just kept the excess ones here in this gorgeous crystal bowl that I thrifted. So this rug is from Rugs USA. It's super soft. It's almost like walking on a sweater. And we had a light colored jute rug here initially when we moved in, but actually when we came back from our honeymoon, we came back to a flood in our apartment that happened while we were away. Luckily our apartment management took care of it and came in here and cleaned everything up, but unfortunately our rug was ruined, and it's a huge space that it covers, so we had to get a new one and opted for this one that we've been really happy with. It doesn't shed. I get a lot of questions about that. It doesn't shed. It's held up really well. We Scotch guarded it, so if things spill, we've been able to get stains out really easily, and it's served a really great purpose in here. So here we have our media console, which I joke we can never move out of this apartment because of how perfectly this console fits in between our air conditioner and heating here, and then the end of this windowsill. It just looks like it was made for this space. And this coordinates with a number of furniture pieces in my office area too, which you'll see. And then up above, we installed this curtain rod because there wasn't anything here, and it was a tricky scenario because the ceiling, I believe, is like cement. So we really drilled holes in the cement ceiling to put up these curtains, but I just think a room doesn't look fully put together without curtains. So it was something I'm really glad that we did. And hopefully the next tenants of this apartment keep them because it was so much work and so expensive, but worth it. So here's Johnny's putter. He loves to have us out when we have friends over or just at the end of the day to mindlessly putt. It's such a good find. I got it on Amazon. It's called the Perfect Practice mat. And I'm just really grateful that it's this attractive shade of green because it coordinates with my Schumacher throw pillows, which was, of course, a priority. Speaking of the pillows, this is the Citrus Garden print that we also have on a few of our dining chairs. And this print was the inspiration for the painting that's behind my desk, which is how we kind of incorporated the decor and design of my office area into the living room, so it all really flows and ties in nicely together. But I just love how happy this is with the lime greens and turquoise and yellows, and it really just brings the space and all of the colors together in a nice way. Our favorite conversation piece of our apartment, and probably what I get the most questions about, is our gallery wall. And Adnan and I worked in tandem on this to really bring together all of Johnny and my's favorite locations, trips, hobbies, interests into one gallery wall. Each piece has a memory or a trip tied to it, which makes it really special. And it's a combination of photos, like here you can see a gray Malin, photos I've taken. I took this shot of Long Beach Island, which is where my family has a beach house, vintage images and vintage postcards. There's sports tickets from Johnny's favorite teams and tournaments, games that he's been to. We also have a lot that reflects back to our wedding. This is the country club where we had our rehearsal dinner. This is a painting of where we met at the University of Richmond. Everything kind of tells a story here and makes it a very happy us wall. this might look kind of odd at first glance because it's a photo of a really dirty bottle of bourbon, but the backstory is that there's this old wives' tale that if you buy a bottle of bourbon and bury it on the site of your wedding venue a month prior to getting married, then you're guaranteed to have beautiful weather on your wedding day, and like, who doesn't want that? So my mother and my mother-in-law bought this Four Roses bottle of bourbon and ended up like sneaking onto our wedding venue property, burying it a month out from the wedding. And I remember like the week of the wedding, we were supposed to get a cold front in Florida and it was supposed to rain. So I was freaking out, like ordering pashminas in bulk for our wedding guests, okay? And not even looking at the weather then as it got closer. And the day of our wedding, it was so sunny and warm and so like the perfect Florida day. And because we had this bottle of bourbon buried, the skies were pink, which also was perfect because our wedding dress code was pink and courage. So all of our guests were wearing pink, but our sky was pink and it was like the most beautiful romantic sunset. And then we all went into the tent for dinner and dancing, and as soon as my dad started giving his toast, the skies opened up and it started downpouring. But we were all cozy inside the tent, like totally dry. And it was like the sweetest moment, and I love rain, and I think it's so romantic when it rains on your wedding day. And it was just like the coziest, most romantic time underneath the tent with the rain outside. And we dug up the bottle of bourbon, everybody took a shot, and we actually still have it in Florida, but I swear this trick works.
So on the back left corner there is the W flag, which I spoke about earlier. That's from the Cubs World Series year, and hopefully there's another W to be had, but if not, that's always memorialized on the top there. A Masters ticket here. I was able to go to the Masters in 2019. That's when Tiger Woods most recently won his latest major, so that was a great experience. Saturday was when he kind of made his big comeback, and that's called moving day at the Masters, so it was a great experience. Didn't get my phone taken away, which is great as well. Left that outside, but that's kind of the only memorialization of going to the Masters since you're not allowed to have your phone on the grounds, so good to have that there. Here is the moment the Cubs won the World Series when Chris Bryant fielded the dribbler down the third base line and threw it to first base for the final out. If you're a Cubs fan, you probably weren't confident that that was going to be completed and may have been thrown away, but here we are, and that was done. The U.S. Open at Shinnecock down here, I went right when I came to New York. The U.S. Open was held at Shinnecock, so that was great. Tip for anyone who goes to visit Shinnecock: there is no trees on the course, so bring your sunscreen. Here, Barcelona, I was able to go to Barcelona on a semester abroad. Amy was in Prague, and I think we were in Vienna when we found these at a street market. So just a good way to remember going to Barcelona. Here we have the Kenny Chesney guitar. Amy's done work with Blue Chair Bay Rum, so Kenny Chesney happens to be my favorite country artist. I don't go to many concerts, but probably 5 of the 10 concerts I've been to in my life have been Kenny Chesney, so this is a great guitar. I can't play guitar, and it's definitely not tuned, but it's a good thing to have on the wall, just to, remember Kenny Chesney, but neither of us play musical instruments. I'm kind of I don't know if it's left brain or right brain, but whatever the music is, I'm on the other side. Yeah, we met at the University of Richmond. We met each other actually freshman year, but didn't really connect until sophomore year, second semester. So we've been together for pretty much a decade now, and which sounds like a long time.
I know.
And lived separately, as Amy said, for a few years, and then came together in New York and got married shortly thereafter.
I think we first connected when we were in a business fraternity together at the University of Richmond, Alpha Kappa Psi, and we were in the same grade too, so we just overlapped a lot. And my best friend, my big sister, and my sorority would bring me to a lot of the parties and that Johnny's fraternity threw. And so we just ran into each other a bunch. And as soon as we started dating, I knew 2 weeks in that he was the one. I said that in my wedding vows. So it was pretty seamless from there on out. We're fortunate enough that both of our parents coincidentally have homes in a town called Vero Beach, Florida. It's in between Orlando and Palm Beach. And we spend all of our holidays there with our families, and our families, specifically our parents, have become really close. So it was honestly a no-brainer once we got engaged, which happened to be in Vero Beach as well, to have our wedding there and really share such a special town and such a beautiful island with all of our wedding guests. So we decided to do it there at the rehearsal dinner and welcome party was at Johnny's Golf Club, and then the wedding ceremony was at the First Baptist Church of Vero Beach, and the reception was at the clubbing community my parents belonged to, John's Island Club. Everyone wanted to go to Florida in February, we found out. And you'll see in our apartment that a lot of the touches and design choices we made reflect our love for Florida, which makes it such a happy space for us. So welcome to my office space. This is where I spend the majority of my time working on my blog and Instagram. I have this kind of cheeky Jonathan Adler pillow here that, you know, makes fun of what I do. And it is really just like such an airy, welcoming, happy space. We switched out the light fixture. There was something bad up here before this. And I actually found this acrylic and gold one from Amazon, and it's worked out really well. And then behind my desk, we have this console here, which coordinates with the media console that's in our living area. And this just houses like files, supplies, etc. And then this is probably my favorite piece in the apartment besides the one, the painting that reflects my wedding dress. And it's actually by the same artist, Kristen Tierney, who I've become good friends with and is based in the mainline, Pennsylvania. But she just does the most stunning, abstract and like floral pieces, a lot of which is actually inspired by fashion designers. But for this one, I actually had her match the colors to the Schumacher Citrus Garden fabric that I showed you earlier. The pillows are on our couch and on our dining chairs. And she just like nailed it and hit it out of the park with this one. And then here I've got a little photo. This is like one of my favorites of Johnny and me when we got engaged in Vero Beach. Right here, I have a bookshelf that features a lot of my favorite coffee table books and photos of her friends and family. We have, oh, also my wedding invitation right here, which is just kind of fun to have on this little easel. Below, I have a picture of my girlfriends and I. My bachelorette was actually on St. Bart's, and I have a gray Malin print right opposite from here of St. Bart's. But here we are at Bagatelle one night, just like a crazy blur of sequins and glitter and champagne. Here we keep all of our matchbooks that we've collected at different restaurants and weddings and things over the years. I also have a number of Lily Pulitzer books. You'll see Lily here, the Lily 5x5, Essentially Lily, because I worked there for 3 years after I graduated in influencer marketing on their corporate marketing team. So they're a company that's very near and dear to my heart and that are still very representative in the spaces I live and work. So this chair is another Amazon find that's so comfortable, and I sit here almost all day. So it was important for me to have a big comfy chair, and it's the pop of pink I wanted in this office space. Then we have this acrylic table from CB2, which serves as my desk and is kind of impractical because it's obviously transparent and has no drawers, but I make up for it in the console behind my desk and also these drawers over here, which are actually nightstands, but we use as additional storage for like gift wrapping supplies and my stationery, and obviously some more coffee table books here that reflect some of my favorite things. I am a Swiftie through and through, so of course I have the new Eras Tour book here. So I love this acrylic table because you can see through to the rug, and I think it just really opens up the space. It was also Adnan's idea to put it in the middle of the room, which I love because it gives it that little designer touch that makes it a little bit more elevated than if I were to put the desk up against a wall, which is to be expected, but this is a little unexpected, which I appreciate. You'll see my sister, who lives downtown, has this same rug, but bigger in her living room. A lot of our style overlaps in fun ways, and that's one of the more obvious ones that I love, that we share the same rug. It's such a good neutral. Jacqueline and I have very similar styles because our biggest influence is our mom, who I would describe decorates with traditional elements with a little bit of a twist. She is famous, honestly, for curating such cozy, warm, inviting homes that are really colorful and homey and special. She just has a knack for that, my mom, that we have been so fortunate to learn from over the years and just adapt and pick up on along the way. She's taught us literally everything from how to find the best items at Home Goods to how to organize and coordinate a plate wall to, doing flower arrangements and all of that. So you'll see similarities there with my sister and me and how we decorate because it's largely influenced by our mother. So right when you walk in, we have a little entryway here with a table that's kind of like a catch-all for our keys, and usually Johnny's swim goggles and swim cap are on this, but I took them away for your viewing pleasure today. And then over here we have this sign, which is one of my favorites. It says, "There are so many beautiful reasons to be happy." And it's such like a sweet reminder as you're exiting or entering our apartment. And we have one of my favorite photos of the two of us on a birthday I had a few years ago. Right off the entryway is our half bath or powder room. And this is actually Paris themed. I try to make it a point to go to Paris every year, so I've just collected a few things along the way. We actually wallpapered this. Long story short, I thought this was peel and stick wallpaper, but actually only the sample square was peel and stick. And when this arrived, the full rolls of it, I realized that it's actually real wallpaper. So yes, we actually wallpapered for real our half bath. So I don't even want to talk about what that's gonna look like when we have to move out of this rental. But for now, it's beautiful. We love it in here. We have this photo or painting of the Ritz Paris, which is my favorite hotel. And then directly across from the mirror is this little cane shelf. So it's actually a really good Home Goods find. And there are just a few little pieces on here that make me happy. A photo of Johnny and me when I first visited his hometown in Chicago, a candle and a tissue box, just a few things like that. So here we have this buffet at console table, which I found via Bed Bath & Beyond, and the navy perfectly coordinates with our Love Sack sectional. It also has these knobs, which I switched out. These were an Amazon find, and I just think the gold makes them look so much more elevated and sophisticated. Here we have this set up for dinner. Since our apartment is all clean today for this tour, I'm having friends over for dinner later, and we're gonna do a Parmesan crusted chicken from my favorite market up here, Butterfield Market. So here I have two candles that are strawberry too to coordinate with the salad. I love a good theme. And we have some Amy and Johnny napkins, which are left over from our rehearsal dinner, and just bring in a little pop of pink that I'm always fighting to sneak into our apartment. Then here we have a gorgeous plate wall of a few different Aquazzura plates that I found at Bloomingdale's in the city, and white cabbage plates. My sister and I actually put this together and we eyeballed the entire thing. You don't even want to know how how many nail holes are behind these, but it looks beautiful, and we ended up just buying these plate stickers on Amazon, which my mom told us about. She is famous for plate walls and has had like gorgeous plate walls in all of our homes growing up. And they do a really good job of making sure your plates stay on the wall and look gorgeous. Since we have so many framed photos and arts throughout the apartment, I wanted something a little bit different here, which is why I decided to go with plates. And I really love how it turned out. Here is our like catch-all bulletin board where we keep a number of save the dates, wedding invitations, our favorite thank you notes, or just little mementos that we've collected over the years. And it's such a joyful spot that I love walking past because we're always reminded of really fun celebrations and little notes from our friends and family.
Our honeymoon was in the Maldives and Dubai. Dubai because, you know, we had to connect somewhere for the Maldives, but it ended up being a great city to visit. Now it's, you know, more and more people you see are going out there to visit, and they're developing as far as the eye can see. So really a lot to see there. And then the Maldives, we really wanted a beach vacation where we could kind of relax because the wedding weekend was a lot of socialization and lack of sleep. So It was great to get as far away as possible. There was about 24 hours of flying time to get there. But I'm also a big fan of underwater sports like scuba diving and snorkeling. And Amy was followed along scuba diving once with me, but there really isn't much to do other than go underwater there, which was totally fine with me. And then we just got a lot of relaxing and eating good food and time together.
My favorite piece in the apartment, well, first of all, it's so hard to choose. Pretty much everything in here has significance or meaning to us, but my mom commissioned a painting by my favorite artist, Kristen Tierney, of the texture of my wedding dress. And you'll see it's right next to my closet, and it's just like the most simple but intricate piece that reflects my favorite thing I've ever worn, my wedding dress, and that weekend, which was so special to us. You wouldn't even know what it was at first glance, which makes it even more impactful once you understand. And it's just like the most elegant, stunning piece and means so much to me. So now we're gonna head into our primary bath, my closet, and our bedroom area. It's nice that this is closed off, especially when we have guests over, because we can kind of like throw everything in here and like pretend it doesn't exist. But right in here, we have our primary bath, my closet, and then the bedroom on the other side. On the door here, we have a very large jewelry hanger, which houses a lot of my statement jewelry. And then this is the painting that I was talking about earlier that Kristen Tierney did, that my mom commissioned her to do of my wedding dress print. My mom actually sent her a piece of fabric for my wedding dress that we had left over from it being altered. And Kristen did that based off of this. So it's a perfect replica of the dress and the print, and has this gorgeous 3D texture to it. So here is what I call my little jewel box oasis of a closet. It is quite literally filled to the brim with shoes, clothing, accessories. I have all of my clothing in here. I don't do any like seasonal changes except for like a few Christmas things. So it had to be really functional. I use every single square inch of this closet, okay? And there's even some artwork in here. You'll see I have a photo of Barbie at a vanity up top, which I just adore. And lots of just like accessories, shoes. Sometimes I come in here with a glass of wine, okay? And it's just like so happy and so me and very, very girly. So I have a number of really fun, eccentric items and accessories in here. One, for example, is this bag that I was just charging actually this morning which is a really fun wedding clutch because it actually lights up in multiple different colors. You should see me on the dance floor with this. Like, okay, that is a good time. And also over here, like this purse is a seashell flask, which has been with me to St. Bart's, Saint-Tropez, like you name it, and has seen a lot of stuff, okay? And I have just a number of like bags over here. Our suitcases are stored here, my pants, and then like sweat sets. And then I hang most of my things here, and I'm very color oriented. You could probably pick up on that by now, but I have this all color coordinated, so it's really easy for me to find something. And then here, this is one of my favorite photos ever. It's a picture of Johnny and me on our wedding day with all of our wedding guests in front of the church where we got married, which you guessed it, was pink too. And I just love the joy that's in this photo, and it always makes me smile when I catch a glimpse of it when I'm grabbing something from my closet. So I started my blog on a whim back when I was a freshman in college in 2013. I had grown up very entrepreneurial and creative, always starting little side businesses and also doing a lot of creative writing and really having a passion for getting dressed up and accessorizing ever since I was a little girl. And so it just was a very natural transition to start my own website and start writing and sharing photography and my style on it. But this was back before I even knew that you could monetize it. I had no idea. And a few months after starting it, I discovered that I could actually make money from it through affiliate links and collaborating with various brands. And that really just was a major aha moment for me and pretty much changed the whole trajectory of my life from there on out. I decided to create my own major at Richmond called Integrated Marketing and Communications. And from there, I studied the business side of blogging and then went on to work in influencer marketing for a resort wear brand after that, and where I continued my education about the influencer industry and how that all works. And this whole time I continued writing on my blog and building up my Instagram, and it got to the point where in February of 2020, actually right before COVID hit, I decided to resign and go full-time doing this and really make a leap of faith, and with Johnny's support, and it turned out even better than my wildest dreams. I'm so grateful for my job. I wake up every day excited to do it and really just love to engage with my followers and my readers. And I don't know how many people can say that they're truly living out their dream job. So it's been really fun to build an apartment that's a reflection of my blog and my style and everything, and get to share it with everyone. If you are a Reese Witherspoon fan, you probably recognize this quote. It's from Sweet Home Alabama, which is my favorite movie of all time. It says, "So I can kiss you anytime I want." And I think that was just like a sweet addition to this bedroom. It's actually probably the first thing I bought for our apartment months and months before we moved in. Now we're in our bedroom, which really is like the most calming space in our apartment. Adnan and I tried to pull in lots of soft and like coastal blues and warm natural elements. You'll see a lot of rattan and cane in here, which I think just makes it feel almost like a coastal oasis, which is exactly what we were going for in our bedroom. We both love the beach and being by the water, and this kind of evokes those calming feelings, even though we're in Manhattan. So Johnny and I have these matching nightstands from HomeGoods, painted Benjamin Moore White Dove. We love the added storage these have. You'll see every piece of furniture in our apartment, besides my desk, has drawers so that it's used to the max, because storage is like so hard to come by in a New York City apartment. This art we love. It's by Urban Garden Designs, and we found really inexpensive frames, actually Adnan did, from Walmart. So we framed these ourselves. It kind of gives me like a Game of Thrones vibe here with like this bird that kind of looks like a dragon. We loved that series, so this just is kind of a funny way to remark back to that.
So this is the hat wall. I'm not a big hat guy, but I've collected hats over the years from significant experiences. Starting here with the Masters, my uncle got that for me, and that was kind of my foray into the Masters world, and looking forward to that every April. And then eventually being able to go in 2019 was kind of a dream come true. The Virgin Islands here, I love the Caribbean. I'll admit that I haven't been to a ton of places yet, so a lot of my gear is actually from Amy, who's the world traveler of the family. And then a lot of hats are just, Cubs here. I like wearing that around New York because you can always find a Cubs fan somewhere. And then a lot of it are just golf related because you need to have a kind of a rotation when you're playing golf. So I've collected a lot more hats than I actually wear, but these are just a few that mean the most to me.
We built the bed coordination around this headboard from Cooley Home, which is fun because they have lots of customized fabric options. We went with this kind of like geo square print. It almost looks like a gingham. And what's really remarkable about this headboard is that it comes in one piece as a piece of foam that expands when you open it, and was very easy to set up. Then from there, all of our bedding is from the company store. It's a sateen fabric, which I've found to be closest to the Four Seasons bedding, which I'm obsessed with. Everything is by the company store, except for this lumbar pillow here is Bull and Branch, and Manny cannot be bought. He is my little manatee that I have slept with since I was little, and luckily Johnny has welcomed into our home. So over here we have our dresser. This is a Wayfair find that we actually got recently, and I love it because it's huge, and so it houses both of our t-shirts, pajamas, all of that good stuff. Then on top, I've completely hijacked this surface area, and it is almost like a getting ready spot for me. Right here, I call this like my charm bar because I have a number of charms here for different necklaces that I can just put in and out and exchange as I want. We also have some thrifted pieces like this vintage crystal box, which houses my charm bracelets. Just lots of like jewelry out and about so I can easily grab it. And then a few just photos that mean a lot to me. This is my mom and I when I was a baby, my dad and me on the beach growing up. And then over here we have a photo of Johnny and me on our wedding day. And then this quote, which I work with a Christian life coach who I adore, and she gifted me this when we were getting married, just to help me like deal with the stress of planning a wedding. And it's such a sweet reminder that at the end of the day, it's about our marriage and all the years after a wedding.
So this is the second best office in the apartment, and there's only 2 rooms in our apartment, so you can do the math there. This is my desk when I work from home. This is where I'm working. It's great. You view out the window here, get a lot of natural light, even though we're north facing. But you'll see, you can compare and contrast and decide for yourself who has the best office when you see Amy's office. But it's a great spot to work, and a lot of memories from COVID here because I spent a lot of time at this desk. So the photos, that's from Richmond. My sister framed that for me a long time ago, and I've kept it ever since. That was from Richmond. Our whole family went to Richmond, so that's a good memory. And here was one of my best friend's weddings, later in the night, and I guess that's a picture of me dancing, so. And then the desk, actually, funny story, it came from IKEA, so it came in 7 million pieces. And I remember during COVID spending a full day putting it together, but it was worth it because it's got a lot of storage, and it's been a fixture in our apartment ever since. So it was worth it putting together, and putting it together with my own hands gives it its own significance.
So now we're entering our primary bath here, which reflects those same like soft coastal blues that you see in our bedroom. We have all wheezy towels and the shower curtain, and I love a big monogram, so we've got that going on here. Just over here I have some easy to grab toiletry items, again our gorgeous wheezy towels, and just a little catch-all tray here from Mark and Graham. And then these are the chicest toothbrushes I've ever seen. They're from a company called Trask and are also like really soft, great bristles. Like, I don't know why I'm going on and on about this toothbrush, but it's amazing. Home to us is actually synonymous with friends and family. We have worked so hard to curate this apartment to be the most welcoming, opening, inviting space for our friends and family. Like we mentioned, all of our siblings live in New York City, and most of our best friends do too. And this apartment just kind of welcomes people to stop by on a whim, have a 3 p.m. happy hour, come by to watch the Masters or the Super Bowl. We've hosted dinner parties that have gone way past our bedtimes and have had so many laughs and really meaningful times here with our friends and family. And I think that's been the most special part of this space and why we're so attached to it.
And I'll take the flip side too. There's a warm and welcoming aspect to this home, and much due to your credit, Amy, where, you know, New York City is a crazy place, especially for someone like me coming from the Midwest. So coming home to a place like this is always that escape from the big city.